the Canada and the United States are honestly probably the most prime example of the two best buds, the two best bros that could have existed up until now.
Ryan is calling from Vancouver, Canada. Ryan, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Brian, thanks very much for what you're doing. And just know that you've got a pretty dedicated audience up here, especially those of us on the left.
Thank you.
Yeah, just Mike, most of us up here are watching what's happening down there with some pretty, serious anxiety and looking at where does this end? Where does this go? And, the discussions happening, at least in most intellectual orbits up here, are, is the economy going to crash? Is the government going to collapse? Is it going to come to some sort of armed insurrection? What is on the other side of this? We look at history and all the different times that we've seen despots get into power, and it generally goes south at some point. What's on the other end of this? How are Americans just in general, grappling with what's on the other side of what you're going through right now?
Well, I think I can't speak for everybody, but I will say this. There are a lot of people in this country, sir, that are worried that members of their family are going to be deported. There's a lot of people in this country that have been working for the government, whatever position they're in, that are worried that they are going to lose their jobs if they haven't already. There's a lot of people in this country that maybe voted for Donald Trump that are saying, well, wait a second, I thought he was going to lower inflation. The opposite is, or the lowering of gas prices. He was going to help me with my small business. He was going to help the middleman. And some of those people, certainly not all of them, but some of those people are finally starting to understand that maybe I made a mistake with my vote. Now, we tried to warn them. I tried to warn them every single day on this show. We've never seen good people of Canada booing our Star-Spangled Banner before a hockey game. We've seen that multiple times now. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I kind of was actually, when I first saw that occurring, was a little taken aback, because I'm like, wow, I think that's probably the first time in recent memory that's occurred. And the Canada and the United States are honestly probably the most prime example of the two best buds, the two best bros that could have existed up until now. I mean, we are, the world's longest undefended border, couple of $1 billion a day going back and forth across the border.
Right.
And to think that the two countries are not linked is silly. Right. And, what happens down there really, really affects us up here. And I think when especially we see some of our politicians starting to emulate your politicians, that has certainly started to get Canadians backs up. And when our best bud, our neighbor, just out of nowhere decides to go, well, we're going to introduce 25% tariffs, and you're not doing enough for this, and all of it's BS. We know it's BS. Right. I mean, the ridiculousness of the fentanyl thing is so ridiculous.
Well, let's start. Let me just comment on that. Trudeau offered a fentanyl czar. Less than 1% of fentanyl in the United States of America is coming from Canada. So that's absurd. That's ridiculous. And, Trudeau offered $2.1 billion for border security. He offered that back in December. And Trump is taking a Daytona 500 victory lap on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. Listen,
it's asinine.
It is asinine. That's the best way. Well, I'm glad there are good people like you out there in Canada that are on the right side of history. I appreciate you being a loyal listener of the show, sir. And you call back anytime, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Cheers. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I will, as long as there's people like you out there supporting what I do, people like Ken.
The moment you disrespect my prime minister by calling him the governor of the 51st state, you disrespect every Canadian.
You are so correct. And I want to, part of this is levity and part of this is truth. I actually think there's a better chance that the First Lady, Donald Trump, there's a better chance that he will be sleeping with Elon Musk than Melania Trump will be sleeping with him. That's my personal opinion.
I agree. I just wanted to comment, like my Canadian brother from Vancouver, with regards to all of this nonsense going down south. I'm a proud Canadian. I have, years of history in this country with my family, but I also have history in the U.S. my great grandfather fought in the Civil War for the Wisconsin 10th, and so there, we have history going back with a lot of Canadians and the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's really disheartening and a bit sickening to hear the rhetoric coming from that the First Lady of the U.S., Donald Trump, and I'm going to call him that from now on, because pretty much right now he's not acting as president. He's sitting by.
I'm going to have to. Can I use that, by the way? The First Lady is Donald. Yeah, I'm going to use that. That's very funny.
You certainly can. He's First Lady Donald Trump, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And the moment you start talking about my prime minister, I don't agree with everything that Trudeau says.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of his in a lot of ways. But the moment you disrespect my prime minister by calling him the governor of the 51st state, you disrespect.
Yeah.
You disrespect every Canadian.
You are so correct. And I want to. Part of this is levity, and part of this is truth. I actually think there's a better chance that the First Lady, Donald Trump, there's a better chance that he will be sleeping with Elon Musk than Melania Trump will be sleeping with him. That's my personal opinion.
I agree. And, but the other part of this, too, is that I want your listeners to understand that just because Canadians are polite and we're respectful, don't ever mistake politeness and respect for being weak. Because
I agree. I agree.
As history has shown, when the words war are announced, Canadians go batshit crazy and we don't take prisoners.
Oh, I agree with you. I've never thought to myself that Canadians are weak. I've thought to myself that Canadians are strong, but also moral compass, good-hearted people like yourself. And I so appreciate that we have so many Canadians that listen and call into this show every day. I have never said that about people of Canada. You people are moral compass, decent human beings on the right side of history, but also strong individuals, I would absolutely say. You know what the opposite of strong is? You know what weak is? Somebody who wakes up in the morning and puts on 8 layers of orange makeup and a girdle and dodges the military multiple times, who demeans the handicapped, who demeans women based on looks. That is the definition of weak, and someone that bows to evil dictators. That person is the definition of weak, and his name is Cheeto Jesus.
Trump being a low-life sleazebag criminal, rapist that he is, and all the lies he tells.
All right, now we're going to Canada, right? We go from the UK to Canada. Let's go to Dave. Dave, what's going on, my friend?
How's it going there? It's good to hear from you. I just want to straighten out the record to force Trump. That Canada's never going to sell to him because he's nothing but a low sleazebag piece of crap. Mm-hmm. And all the MAGA people out there saying that we're going to become the 51st state, never going to happen. So you might as well just put that crap away, and it's not going to happen. And I'm sick of hearing Trump because he's a big mouth sleazebag. He's not about a low life criminal, and we don't need that over here.
25% tariffs. That really worked out well, didn't it? That really benefited everybody, didn't it? Yeah. First of all, he didn't give the 25% tariffs to Canada. He's not going to. And then Trudeau offers $2.1 billion at the border, same thing that he offered under Joe Biden. So I mean, it was all to piss people off. America got nothing from it. Canada got nothing from it. All we got was our allies pissed off at us. That's all we got.
Exactly what you got. That's exactly what you have. You have a bunch of Canadians pissed off at the Americans. I like the Americans. I think they're great. I live on the border of Port Huron. I live starting in Ontario, Canada, and I have Port Huron, Michigan, right next door to us here.
Yeah.
And I have Detroit just down the road, 60 miles away from us.
Sure.
Beautiful. Love it. But I just get sick of hearing all these MAGA people coming and saying that we are going to be, as soon as we're the 51st state, put it away.
It's never going to happen. It's absolute nonsense. You're absolutely right, sir. It's never going to happen. I love the people of Canada. So many wonderful people there. And the fact that Donald Trump has managed to piss every single one of them off speaks volumes as to Donald Trump and the leader, or the lack thereof. I appreciate your call, my friend. We're with you.
Listen, I hope I'm not saying nothing about the American people. I love the American people, and but they gotta quit this rhetoric like this stuff. The MAGA, especially the MAGA, and Trump being a low-life sleazebag criminal, rapist that he is, and all the lies he tells.
Sure.
I mean, and people let him get away with it. So
the people
but I
that
just
let
thought,
him, the people that let him get away with it. Let me be very clear on this. There's a lot of American people that I love very much, but there's a portion of the American people that I do not love. In fact, I hate. And let me be very clear on the people that I am talking about. The people that believe Donald Trump is their Lord and Savior, the people that are part of his cult, the people that think he
Right.
can do no wrong, the people that think he cares about them. These are very ignorant and ill-informed people, and some of these people are very dangerous people, and they're bad people. I don't love people that are full of hate and rage inside of them. I don't love people that attack people based on skin color or sexuality. I don't love people that look up to a 34-count felon liable abuser. That's the opposite
Yeah.
of the people that I choose to love. I choose to love good people, decent human beings, and so many in Donald Trump's base are not that. I wanted to be very clear on that, and I appreciate your phone call. Thank you for listening out of Canada, and we appreciate you calling in, sir. Thank you so much.